What's up, guys? Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
and we're back at it again to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater. Gersh, tell them what it is.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, simply comment down in the comment section below. Put question in front of your question, and we'll try to answer it next week. We also play a drinking game. Whenever we say question, you take a shot if you want. Or drink Kool-Aid, whatever you do. If you are underage. Capri Sun, I don't know, Sunny D.
Capri Suns are pretty good.
This question comes from Joe Cool. You asked a really good question, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You asked, what was the gene seed source for the Primaris Marines?
He's asking the big one here.
So let's break it down for you real quick. The Primaris Space Marine lore was not in the Codex, Space Marine Codex. Or it was, but it wasn't that good. So it leaves a lot of room for speculation, which GW loves for us to do. Otherwise, we wouldn't survive. By us, we mean One Mind Syndicate. But anyways, let's break it down. So the Primaris Marines were created when?
10,000 years ago.
30K.
Mm-hmm.
30K. That means that they have been in existence since the first legions were around.
Essentially, yeah.
And were there any successor chapters before the Horus Heresy?
Nope.
I think not.
Mm-mm.
Now, what legions existed back then that don't exist now, other than the traitor ones? The Lost Primarchs. So here's my little thought. I really think that the Primaris Marines are descendants from a Lost Primarch. Specifically, the Lost Primarch that was supposed to take the role of Horus because Horus was the War Master. The Emperor always had the end game of creating a webway. It was a project that he started before even the Primarch project. So he knew that at one point he would have to take himself out of the Great Crusade and leave somebody in charge. Why not create a Primarch better than all the other Primarchs that could lead them when in his absence, which is what he did. He created this one super strong, super awesome Primarch that ended up being too strong or too powerful for the Emperor's liking. The Emperor got rid of him, thus leaving behind his legion of Primaris Marines. That's my theory.
It's an interesting theory. But
you don't believe it.
I don't believe that. It's just... It sounds cool on paper, but sorry, Gersh. It's in actuality, Gilliman was like, "Hey, yo, Belisarius, call. We gonna need some badass mofo's later on in life. I need you to start creating them." And he's like, "Beep, boop, 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 beep." Okay, and he did.
Thanks for crushing my dreams.
That's what I do.
Next question.
This is by Guillaume de Federico. How is it even possible that Space Marine chapters only count 1,000 men? Isn't the lore a bit incoherent here? I feel like it would be an impossible task for them to battle against much larger armies, orcs for example, across all of the universe. I mean, gameplay-wise, you lose something like 20 of them during each game. P.S. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the good work, and greetings from Switzerland.
Awesome, you're from Switzerland. How's it going over there? I hope well. Let me answer your question real quick. So, the lore is different than the game. In the lore, Marines rarely ever die. They don't ever, last as long as they do on the battlefield, which is why, like, a unit of 5 Space Marines can take on, like, a whole war band of orc boys.
Yeah.
Because that's just how they are. And yeah. So, does it make sense? Yeah, if you think about it. They're really tough.
Yeah, they're really, really OP in terms of lore. Like, let's say you have a whole planet that's besieged by chaos. Oftentimes, you'll just see one squad of Grey Knights. And that's, you're talking about a whole planet. These planets can be bigger than, Earth, Terra, whatever. So, that's just the scale of it. Essentially, it's like you have one Space Marine that can do the job of, like, a whole army, essentially.
Next question.
Let's see here.
I have one from Fan9775. Does a filthy Chaos Space Marine have to be a Space Marine prior to conversion? No. So, there have been stolen gene seed that can be used to create Space Marines. Mm-hmm. More than likely, though, that Space Marine is never gonna, or that Chaos Space Marine is never gonna be as good as a Space Marine who turns to Chaos, just because, kind of like the whole thing with in Star Wars, where they always want to get, a Sith Lord always tries to go after a Jedi because the Jedi has like a core, like, you know, a core set of skills that Sith can build upon. Does that make sense? I hope. Next question.
Apollo 306. Why does the Incarn look so much like Slaanesh? Yes, I've always thought this too. When I saw the model for Eniad's avatar, it was very Slaanesh-like. And my theory is that Slaanesh has corrupted it, or something along those lines, but the Eldar god is not 100% Eldar. That's my take.
Cool. This question comes from Alexander Konis. With the Tau and the Eldar superior weapons and technology, if they were to join the Imperium, could they take down the major threats in the universe, like Chaos or the Tyranids? If they teamed up with each other, I think they could defend from Tyranids a whole lot better. Could they destroy Chaos ultimately, like, completely? No.
I don't think so.
Could they destroy Tyranids completely? We don't even know how many Tyranids there are.
Yeah.
And, like, they're in the eastern fringe of the galaxy. Who knows if they come out from another spot, you know what I mean? Next question.
Stop Players asks, can you ask me a question?
Sure. What's a very common question that we always get asked? The God Emperor returns to 40K. What is he going to do? Answer in the comment section below. Put answer in front of your answer so that we can get to that first. We'll read it, but yeah. Okay, next question comes from John Redcorn. Well, more like a Reddit question. What character in 40K has the saddest death that wasn't a Space Marine or a Primarch? And also, how epic would it be if Korax and Conrad had a longer fight? And also, you're in the battle... Well, let's... Hold up. First question.
All right.
Who had a really sad
death?
Yeah, sad death.
It's not a Space Marine.
Yeah. I can't think of anything right now. Can you?
No, I can't even think of anybody important that hasn't been a Space Marine that died.
I mean, the governor of Cadia. The governor of Cadia during one of the Black Crusades was butchered in his own office. And, like, they waited until, I think, the 8th Regiment, the Acadian 8th Regiment, right? I think that's what they're called. They, like, came in, and who's the leader of Creed? So Creed made eye contact with whoever, I think it was a Chaos Marine or a Demon, and then made eye contact with the governor, who the governor was like, you know, oh, I'm saved, and then whoosh, he was killed. So that's pretty sad, I guess.
R.I.P.
And then the other question was, how epic would it be if Korax and Conrad had a longer fight?
Yeah, I think Conrad would have whooped Korax, because as soon as Korax' claw locked with Conrad's claw, he looked into his eyes and he was like, oh shit, I gotta dip. So much so that he freaking left his lightning claw there and he, like, bolted out with his jetpack. So yeah, it would have not been good for the Loyalists. They already suffered too much with this whole, you know, massacre, traitorous massacre, that is. So yeah, it wouldn't have ended very, very well.
Yep. And then last question. You're in the battlefield, and the war DJ asks you to make an epic playlist of music for the fight. Whose music are you blasting during your fight? Smooth jazz all the way through.
Darude Sandstorm.
Next question.
Alright guys, this is an interesting one by Jaegerbomb. This question is, which Space Marine chapters work best with the Imperial Guard and which ones don't like them at all? So I think the ones that work best is the ones you mentioned, the Celestial Lions, I believe. They're the Astral Claws.
No, they work bad with the Inquisition.
No, the Imperial Guard.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. And then who hates the Imperial Guard? I think it's the Black Templars, right? The Black Templars are all about might makes right, the God Emperor protects. Yeah, I think.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Next question comes from Cameron Gross. If I were to get a Xenos army, what should I get? Orcs.
Eldar.
Why Eldar?
Why not?
Because they're speed. No, because they're elves. It's gay. Yeah, get orcs. They're a proper army. Next question. Wait, are you trying to say that you're gonna start Eldar?
No,
okay.
That's not what I'm trying to say at all. Guns Kude. What is your favorite 40k PC or console game? And what is your favorite universe after 40k?
What's your favorite 40k game?
Yeah. Well, it's the only one. Well, no, I played two. We played Dawn of War, and I played Space Marine. Space Marine was fun, but I gotta go with Dawn of War.
I have to go with the old PlayStation. I think it's PlayStation 2 or 1 Fire Warrior game. Because I love getting headaches. I just love it. So I'm gonna go with that one.
That's a good choice.
And then you had another question.
What's our favorite universe after 40k?
What's yours?
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep. I like Rick and Morty right now. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, and multiple dimensions. Rick not being the right Rick for Morty. Morty being a different Rick it's just cool. It's confusing and it's awesome. Next question.
And Tom Slav. What will do the Tau? What will do the Tau who is not from Firecast when they get attacked by the enemy? Will they take some kind of weapon and defend their own life? Or will they let themselves be killed like pigs to the slaughter? So if they're not fire warriors, how do Tau defend themselves?
Their fists.
They're like fish fists.
Yeah. They'll still fight. They're like humans. It's kind of like if you were attacked, you're not in the military, but what are you going to do? You're going to fight back.
Right.
You're going to have to pick up a plasma gun and shoot.
I don't think any sentient being would just stand there and just like let themselves, unless they're like, well, okay, it'll happen. But yeah, because there's been times that like Tau engineers, they actually get into their own like battle suits that they're creating and whatnot and like defend it. So.
Next question comes from Tom Slav. What will do the
parallel universes?
This question comes from Lane White. Since the Emperor is dissatisfied with what the Empire has become, we've read this, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we answered this before. So, next question.
Madman Lols. Who do you think would win in a fight? Lord Caldor Drago or the Nightbringer?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Drago because he has plot armor.
Yeah, easily Drago. Also, the Nightbringer is a Catan, and if you don't know yet, Catan are weak against warp powers, and Drago basically lives in the warp, so Drago.
Yeah, it's like a fish out of water for the Catan.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the questions for this week, guys. Thank you so much for sending them our way. If you want to ask us some more questions, comment down in the section below. And thanks for everything.
Yeah, we do got a Patreon, a Twitter, an Instagram, and a Facebook, so hit us up on that for more 40k goodness. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
One Mind Syndicate is signing out.